Today I'm going to do a position review from some photographs that somebody sent in to me. So let's get started. Hi there, my name is Laura and welcome to another video. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And if you'd like to get some ideas on how to improve your riding and training, like to win more ribbons at your next horse show, or generally like other horsey related stuff, then remember to subscribe, hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything. So I've got some lovely photos somebody sent in and we're going to do a position review. So let's get right to the computer and get started. So we have three lovely photos here. Here's the photo number 1. You see she's on a pinto horse. Looks like she's in a horse show because she's got a number on the back. We have another photo here. And the final photo 3, she's on a different horse. And looks like she's trotting and again in a horse show. It's so fun to see everybody when they're at their horse show. And it's really great that you're all going into these training shows so you get experience going into horse show. Really important that you start out and get into the horse show ring, get your horse used to it, get yourself used to being under a little bit of stress in the horse show. It's a little bit different environment than going around in your lesson or your own training program. So going to horse shows, it's a really great way to get yourself under that stressful situation of a horse show. Great job. First thing I noticed was, wow, you're really looking up. I really like the way that you're looking up. And looking up is so important because it gets your whole body in the correct position. Not only can you see what's going on, if you're going over jumps, what the next jump is, but also it helps to keep your body aligned. So you look at each one of these photographs and you can see that, yeah, you know what? She's looking up in each and every photograph. So that's a great habit that you have. Next thing we notice is the lower leg position with your heels down. You can see in this photograph that, yeah, you know what? She does have her heels down. That's the overall first impression, head up, eyes up, looking where you're going, weight coming down into your heels. But if you look at her position generally overall, you can see that we'd like to see a straight line, ear, shoulder, hip, heel, and this is not being done. You can see that in this photograph that there is a straight line, ear, shoulder, hip, but her heel is out in front of her. Usually when the heel's out in front of you like that, we call that a chair seat. And before you can correct the chair seat, you have to make sure that 1, the saddle fits you properly, and 2, that the saddle fits the horse properly. Sometimes saddles are a little bit down near the back or the cantle of the saddle, and that puts you automatically in a chair position. So check to make sure that the saddle fits you properly and it fits your horse properly. The seat, the middle of the saddle, should be the lowest part, not the back or near the cantle of the saddle. To help with the chair seat, after you've decided whether or not the saddle fits properly, you can put your seat closer to the front of the saddle, and that's what we'd like to see here, is that your seat should be more to the front of the saddle rather than near the back or the cantle of the saddle. Right now you can see in this photo that your knee caps, knee bones are pointing forward, and we'd like to see your knee and your front of your thigh stretching down more so that your kneecap or the front of your knee is pointing more downward rather than forward. First thing I would suggest is to push your heels down more and not push your heels down and forward. Most people, when they think of pushing their heels down, they push their heels down and forward to the horse's elbows. Think of pushing your heels down and stretching your whole thigh down. Allow your knee to come down more, and think of stretching the top of your thigh and pointing your kneecap or knee bone down to the ground will help get your lower leg underneath you more. So I drew a little line on this photograph here where you can see where I'd like to see your kneecap, and if you look at this, the green line there, it goes from your hip to your knee to your ankle, and it stretches your leg down. And think of pushing your kneecap down and stretching the weight down into your heels rather than forcing your gripping with your knees and your thighs on the top of the horse. The red lines here is a straight line from the top of your thigh and extending out, and you can see where your kneecap would be pointing straight ahead. And then the green line is the extension of your thigh as if you were in the correct position with your leg down and around the horse. And you can see that the green line's pointing more down towards the ground rather than straight out. What I did was I took this picture and I just isolated you from the top of the horse so you could see if you looked like you were in balance even though the horse wasn't underneath you. So think of taking the horse out from underneath you. Would you land in balance on the ground? Let's take a look. So if you saw this person standing, do you think that they would be able to keep standing like that? And what does this person have to do to remain in balance even though she's not on a horse? So if you put you back on that horse, take you off the horse, put you on the horse again, you can see that the horse is keeping you from falling down. And if you think about that when you're riding, think that, if someone took that horse out from underneath you, would you be able to be in balance with yourself on the ground? In this, what do you think? Yes or no? I think no. I think that she would fall directly onto her bum. So to help with that, think of stretching your leg down, keeping your body upright. Your body appears to be in pretty good balance. It's just that your leg is stuck out in front of you. You have a chair position going on there. So you need to keep yourself in balance with the horse. This photograph shows that, your back is straight and flat, but it's almost hyperextended and concave. You'd like to see it straighter, and when you concave your back that way, it puts your hips out of balance so that your hips are going back against the horse. What we'd like to see is, that your hips being in line with the horse. There's also one photograph. It looks like you are twisting your upper body. So if you take a good look at this photograph, it looks like your right shoulder is back further than your left shoulder. It looks like your upper body's twisted slightly. So when you're riding, keep your shoulders square with the horse's shoulders so you can stay in balance with your horse as well. Looks like you have a lovely soft arm. I like the way your arm hangs down from your shoulder to your elbow, and then your elbow's bent softly with a straight line elbow hand horse's mouth. It's very nice and soft. Looks like your horse has a hackamore on. Excellent. Checking the other photographs that you sent in, looks like your arm is consistently soft, hanging naturally down from your shoulders to your elbows, and then bending naturally at your elbows towards the horse's mouth with a soft hand. And here's a little closer look at your hand position. Your hands are trying to be soft by keeping your fingers open around the reins. Even though your fingers are secure around the reins, your hands can be soft even though they are secure around the reins. Keep your fingers closed so you can have the steady, even elastic contact with the horse's mouth, or in this case, the hackamore. So what are some exercises that you can do to help with your riding position? Do you have any favorite exercises that you like to do to help with your riding position? What's your favorite exercise? Put it in the comments below. Make sure that your saddle fits you properly and your saddle fits the horse properly. Looks like you're forcing yourself to the back of the saddle. A good exercise to prevent that from happening is to ride without stirrups. When you're riding in the chair seat, it's a very insecure position, and oftentimes riders will fall back into the saddle because they lose their balance, or they even hold on to the horse's mouth to keep their balance from falling backwards. So keeping your leg underneath you is very important to keep yourself stable and keep yourself in balance. A couple good exercises you can do. Number one is ride in your 2-point and really stretch your legs down, pointing your kneecaps towards the ground. This kind of opens up your hip angle and lets the weight come down and around the horse. Another good exercise, riding without stirrups and doing some exercises at the walk and at the halt and at the trot. If you'd like to have your own position review done, send me an email, thistleridge@hotmail.com. My name is Laura, and if you like to have some ideas on how to improve your riding and training, win more ribbons at your next horse show, or generally like other horsey-related stuff, then watch these videos. There's lots more to come. Bye now. Now go use this stuff. Go hug your horse. Go use this stuff. See ya.